I really like John O'Donohue, who is an Irish teacher and poet, and unfortunately has passed away at this point. But this is a book called To Bless the Space Between Us. And in it he talks about beginnings. He says, before it occurs, a beginning can be a long time in preparation. This is why some beginnings take off with great assuredness, and one can instinctively recognize that the right direction has been chosen. Without any struggle, one enters into a fluency that seemed to have been awaiting one's choice. Other beginnings are awkward and slow, and it takes considerable time before the new path opens or welcomes one. Sometimes beginnings can catch us unawares. Often when something is ending, we discover within it the spore of new beginning, and a whole new train of possibility is in motion before we even realize it. When the heart is ready for a fresh beginning, unforeseen things can emerge. And in a sense, this is exactly what a beginning does. It is an opening for surprises. Surrounding the intention and the act of beginning, there are always exciting possibilities.
The reading today is from Isaiah 65:17 and 18. For I am about to create new heavens and a new earth.
All right, Shirley, I'm going to interrupt you. Take the mask down, and I want you to read this as Shirley. Be like exciting. This is exciting and full of new possibility, okay? All right, give it to us. Go.
For I am about to create new heaven and a new earth. The things of the past will not be remembered or come to mind. Be glad and rejoice forever and ever in what I create, because I now create Jerusalem to be a joy and its people to be a delight.
Perfect. Thank you. Would you pray with me? Holy One, fill us with the energy of new beginnings, possibilities, and potential. Lift us up. Fill us that we might be those people of joy and delight. And may the words of my mouth and the meditations of each of our hearts be filled with your insight and your wisdom. Amen. Beginnings. I know we're a little past January 1st, but this is the first time we're here together. So, beginnings. What's your favorite new beginning?
Marriage.
Marriage. You wouldn't feel that way if you were a pastor, but okay. My favorite new beginning is a funeral. There's wonderful, immense possibilities after that, but Teresa?
A new school year.
A new school year.
A new baby.
A new baby. What else?
New house.
A new house.
New job.
A new job.
A new contract, a new country.
A new contract in a new country, Chris says. Someday.
Oh.
Fresh coat of paint.
A fresh coat of paint. That's a good new beginning. A new box of crayons.
A new instrument.
A new instrument. A new book.
A new calendar full of possibilities.
A new fresh calendar. Absolutely. Anybody online want to share anything? Your favorite new beginning? No. Teresa, you got something else?
A new puppy.
A new puppy. How do you feel about that, Sharon? The idea of it was better than the reality. That's the way with babies and marriage and everything else. Yeah, sometimes a new recipe, right, Scott?
Oh,
The possibility in a new recipe or a new movie that you're sitting down to watch. Anything else?
Graduation.
A new puzzle, a what?
Graduation.
A graduation is a new beginning.
First time you mow the grass.
The first time you mow the grass in the spring.
The first time you see your lost robins.
What was that, Amanda? Sure, any found new skill or hobby. Or for that matter, if you're a painter or a writer, you know, the new piece of paper or a new sketch pad. Or the new pencils that you get out of the box that are all sharp and pointy and ready to go. Yeah. New beginnings are everywhere when we start to look for them. And truly every day is a new beginning. But this time of year, we think about new beginnings more. And I love the new year, which, you know, it seems kind of silly because really what is it? It's a new day. It's not like anything really happened between December 31st and January 1st, and yet we're all like, you know, cats and noisemakers and everything else, and yeah, it's another day. But for some reason, there's an energy around that new day. And it is that energy of all of those things that you said, the possibilities and potentials. It's hope and it's excitement and it's the joy and delight that Shirley talked about. And last year does not rate terribly high on my list of wonderful years to remember. It's not the worst. It was not the worst year I've ever had. But, yeah, it wasn't great. And yet there were good moments, don't get me wrong. There was some fun, there was some kayaking going on, and there were some new adventures in watercolor painting and some other things like that. But by and large, I was happy with the virus and the politics and the racial issues and Julie's job and all of the wonderful folks that we lost last year. I was happy to say goodbye to last year. And I know probably you're all kind of looking at me going, yeah, okay, well, the new year looked a whole lot better up until like a week ago, right?
Yeah.
And so, and we know that the virus and the being safe and the masks and everything are going to go on for a while yet. And it's been made abundantly clear that our racial issues are becoming even more obvious and that we have a long, long way to go to resolving any of that. So flipping into a new calendar did not fix any of the old problems from last year. But it doesn't mean that we can't tap into the spiritual energy that exists right now to feel the potential that this year could bring for us individually and collectively. Because it's a real thing, or I'm crazy, but do you feel it? I mean, there is an energy of new possibility right now. And it's that coming with the new year. It's the energy of creation, the energy of creating, which is why I chose the passage that I had Shirley read. It's the whole, look, I'm creating a new heavens and a new earth. Marilyn's painting her walls. God's like, that's it, I'm creating everything new. I'm painting the sky. And it's amazing and it's wonderful. It calls us to look forward instead of backward. It calls us to forgiveness and to joy. And I get that we can't all necessarily be there. I know that we've had some really hard losses, some of us in the last 6 months to a year. And so yes, we honor that. We honor the grief and we honor the loss and we honor the pain. We trust that even in the midst of all of that, there will be a new beginning when we're ready for those new beginnings. And we trust that the people who've gone before us would want us to fully engage the new beginnings that present themselves to us, to live life to its fullest. Because we'd want that if we were the ones that had gone before, wouldn't we? So wherever you are, this is your spiritual pep talk for the day, okay? Maybe for the year. This is the beginning of the year pep talk. We're all putting our hands in the center, but we're not touching, so we're like 6 feet apart in the center. And we're going to do the you-rah-rah and break, and this is a new start to a new game. And what does it look like for us? There was a Zen teacher once who told his initiate that he wanted the student to go and sit by the stream and just sit there until he heard what the water had to teach him. And so the initiate went and sat by the stream for days, concentrating, trying to bend his mind around the scene and what it had to teach him. And after he'd been sitting there for days, suddenly this little monkey came on by, and it seemed like the monkey just bounded into the water and started splashing around in the stream. And the initiate wept and went back and told his master what had happened. And the master kind of chuckled and shook his head and said, "The monkey heard. You just listened." You know, that stream is the continuing moment that we live in life. It's the current of life that we're called to jump into fully, to engage fully, to live to the best of our ability. But too often, as human beings, we have the propensity to sit back and watch instead of jumping in. You know, we'll study theology instead of trying to allow ourselves to open up and feel the presence of God. We'll play music, or maybe not us, but other people, play music and sing songs, and they don't allow themselves to feel the passion of it. Or how many folks go and watch a band, like a great band like ours, and they listen to this awesome music and they stand on the sidelines instead of getting out and dancing? How many times do we find ourselves just watching instead of engaging? Mark Nepo tells the story of how he was sitting in a screened-in porch overlooking a lake, a place that he had visited 20 years in a row when he was younger. And he sat on this screened-in porch with his friend, and the rain was coming down outside, and it was a scene they'd played out many, many times. And suddenly, though, his friend jumped up, slammed open the screen door, tore off his clothes, and went running into the lake. And Mark just sat there, the initiate next to the stream, until he finally did the same thing. He got up and he tore off his clothes and he went running into the lake, and they had the rain coming down and the water underneath him. And that was living. That was engaging the moment. And I don't know, do you all remember the snow that came down on Friday morning? And how pretty it was? If I could ask for the perfect Christmas Eve snow, that would have been it. It just kind of gently floated down, these nice sized flakes, and it's great. We sit inside and we look at it and we think, oh gosh, that's so pretty. And to be honest, I would have continued to sit there and just think how pretty that was if I didn't have a dog who insisted we get out in it, regardless of what it is. And so I got on all my winter clothes and I went out, and it was amazing. It was more amazing to be in it than it was to be watching it. To have the snowflakes hit my face and cover my hat and land on the dog as she goes rolling in the snow, and I'm walking around the neighborhood singing, "Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow," walking in a winter wonderland. And I really did too. I only do that really when Julie's not around. But okay, no, it's not true. I occasionally sing when she's with me, but she gives me one of those looks like. But that was the difference between sitting and watching it and actually enjoying life, being a part of it. energy of new beginnings calls us to engage life every single moment as much as we possibly can. You know, most of us in this room have probably seen more sunrises and sunsets than we're going to see. So doesn't that make every one even more precious? Shouldn't we pay attention and enjoy it? And recognize the awesomeness and the beauty in those moments. So how many of you have ever said, well, when I have time, I'll... Okay, so they're fessing up. I don't know if you're fessing up or not, but what have you said it about? Finish the sentence for me. When I have time, I'll...
Learn to play the piano.
Learn to play the piano.
Finish cleaning my spare room.
Finish cleaning my spare room. What else? That's it? Learn to weld? Excellent. What else?
I have a whole list if you want to.
You have a whole list. Robin's got a list. But just give me one more.
To get through all the paperwork sitting on the desk.
Okay, get through the... So yours all has to do with cleaning up your house.
Yeah.
Okay. And Beth is there too.
I used to say, I'll jump out of an airplane later, but then I did it because after I was diagnosed, I realized if I don't do it now, I'll just keep putting it off.
There you go. So instead of saying you're going to jump out of an airplane, you jumped out of a perfectly good airplane. Good for you. That's it. I'll learn how to paint. I'll
organize my house.
organize my house. I'll learn how to golf. I'll go fishing with Irv. There's all kinds of things.
Take more naps.
Take more naps. Appreciate more sunrises. Eat more ice cream. You know, because here's the deal, okay? We may have another 6, 8, 10 months or more of virus time where we're all whining and complaining about COVID and our masks. But this is the time! The time that you always said you wanted to get everything done or to try something new. So the question today is, what do you want to give yourself to this year? Do you want to give yourself to sitting and watching the snow, or to enjoying the snow and making a snow angel and a snowman? And that's a metaphor. All of it's a metaphor, by the way. Do you want to sit on the sidelines, or do you want to engage life? Do you want to just talk about the things you want to do and you want to learn, or do you want to do them? We've only got so much time, but this is our moment. Grasp that energy of new beginnings now, the energy of creating, the energy of opportunity is all of ours for the taking, all the time, but right now it's even more potent. Amen.